Hi there, floss friends. Welcome to Sycamore Stitches. This is my floss tube, which is all about cross stitching. And I've been away for a little bit. It's been over 2 months since I made a video. Um, I was planning to do one in the beginning of November for my 1 year floss tube anniversary, but I think it's one of those things where when you put like pressure on something and you want to do something extra that then you just, you know, don't end up doing it at all and avoid the whole issue for 2 months. Um, so, with that being said, I guess I'm back now, and I thought 'tis the season for a good WIP parade, which would be a good way to show you all my projects that I have going on, as well as some of the progress I've made in the last 2 months without trying to figure out exactly where I was at that point. Um, also, yeah, it's been busy. We had all November we were sick in in this house. It took turns going through all the kids and us. And I've also been stitching a lot less than usual. I haven't stopped stitching completely, but I'm definitely not stitching on a daily basis these last 2 months. Winter, hibernation. I tend to hibernate, which sometimes makes me stitch more, but sometimes makes me stitch less. Sometimes hibernation is more just watching TV or something that's even less effort than stitching. So I might have another month of that before I start, coming back out of that. That's pretty normal for me. Um, it used to be like a full-blown kind of seasonal depression, but um, I've kind of embraced the hibernation a little bit more and am in a spot of my life where I'm able to um, take a step back. And so I think it's been very good for my mental health. Like, I tend to be less depressed. I just am a little slow and a little less productive than my usual self. So, anyhow, um, so I have 17 works in progress WIPs for my WIP parade, and I'm also taping from a different place today. This is my corner chair, and until I put the camera on it, didn't realize how gray it was. It's like gray walls, gray chair. Until about 30 seconds ago, I was wearing a gray shirt, and I had to change because it was like all gray. But anyhow, we'll see how this location goes. This isn't where I usually am sitting, but I hopefully have everything I need within reach. So, yeah, I have 17 cross stitch WIPs and as well as 2 needlework WIPs and 2 knitting WIPs, which I will probably do those at the end as well. At least the needlepoint ones, I will show you. I don't know if I'll pull my knitting ones out there. Hard to show on camera, I think, from this like small space. So I guess we should just get started and see the things. So my very first WIP, a couple of these are inactive WIPs. Like, I have no plans to be stitching on them, but also, well, we'll see individually what I want to do with them. The very first one is from 20 years ago. It is a huge WIP that I spent a lot of time on when I was in college, but never finished. But it has come with me through every move since then in 20 years. And I just can't bring myself to get rid of it, but I also haven't stitched on it. Well, in 2020, when I pulled all my stitching back out, I think I did put a couple strands in it, but haven't touched it since then. So I'm not really sure what the plan is. For right now, it just hangs out. I have no plans to stitch on it right now. Maybe I'll think on this. Maybe this is one of the ones that would be good to like see if somebody else wanted to take it and finish it. But anyhow, it is Dimensions Gold Collection, the Mighty Samurai, and it's a pretty big guy, a pretty big one. You see, it was very stained from being on a scroll frame just inside like a plastic bag for 20 years. I did do a lot of cleaning of it in 2020, and most of the stains have come out. But as you can see, that's a lot of stitching. He himself is fairly close to done. There's also a peacock that comes back here, and then there's like a tree and sun that are background pieces, so they're only half stitch. And then of course none of the back stitch is done, and there's some beading too. So yeah, I love the colors, but I don't see myself working on it, but I also don't see myself tossing it. I will think on the idea of like maybe passing him along to another stitcher who would want to do the rest of it. That might be a good fate for him. So that is like I barely even count him as a WIP. I probably started him like in 2000. And probably had a good year's worth of work in him, and then haven't really touched him since. So that is inactive WIP number 1. Number 2 is also an inactive WIP. I got back into cross stitching in 2020, as I'm sure many of us did. I mean, not everyone. Some of you have been more consistent. I stitched when I was younger, then had small kids, and then just got back into it. And I got real gung-ho, and I decided that in 2021, I started 2 year-long stitch-alongs, blackwork ones. I have not finished either of them. So, the first one of those, which I started in late December of 2020, is the Steady Thread blackwork stitch-along, which is... She does, her patterns are botanical. So first, let me just show you. It's pretty big. That's of it. And I have several of the sections done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 out of, I think, 49. So there's a lot of work in it, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. First off, I think there was just too much black work between this and the other one, and I just got, maybe I wasn't so into it. But this one in particular, the flowers, the botanical things are really great, but they are not super soothing as far as patterns go. Like, they're not repetitive enough for my taste in black work, I think. Also, I was unhappy a little bit with my choice in colors. What I wanted was a variegated thread that was like kind of a red, pink to purple, and then I wanted a purple and then the red, and I don't think I picked well. As you can see, here's the variegated, here's the purple. The red is too red. It's not exactly the right color to match the variegated, and it bugs me. From a distance, I'm sure it's totally fine, but like up close, I think you can probably see that red is not, it's not quite right. Although it looks cool in the strawberries one, right? So anyhow, I have no plans to work on this. I don't think I have plans to get rid of it, but now I am thinking, like, this is a very nice piece of green fabric. Do you think I could unpick this? It is black work. Maybe I could unpick it and reuse the fabric more easily than like unpicking cross stitch. I don't know. I don't know if the fabric would be any good. I mean, I'm sure it would still be, maybe if I unpicked it and washed it. I don't know. Again, Not sure what I'm going to do with that. No plans to do anything with it right now. So that is number 2, the Steady Thread Stitch Along. And according to, it's on a 14 count Aida in Moss Celadon, and I've already got 40 hours into it, which makes it, I guess, kind of hard to just be like, toss it. But I don't know, sometimes I guess you got to do that, right? I don't know. Especially because if I decided I wanted to do some black work, this is the one I would work on, this next one, which is also a 2021 year-long black work stitch along, but through Peppermint Purple. And I have more done on this. And let me show you the general shape of what it would be when it was done. Just kind of round but square. So as you can see, I'm like probably a little more than halfway through. And I really like these patterns better to stitch. Once you do a little row of them, you don't even need the pattern, you just keep going. They're very rhythmic, they're very symmetrical. You just kind of, I'm missing borders on some of them, you can see. And they take a lot less time. These small squares only take about a half an hour, and the large rectangle is about an hour to do, whereas I could spend a couple of hours or more on just one section of that other one. So I, again, don't have plans to take this out right now, but if I felt like doing some black work, this is definitely the one that I would reach for first. Even though I really like how that one looks with the flowers, but I like how I like stitching on this one better. So no plans right now to work on it, but maybe. I feel more, sorry about that. I feel more hopeful about doing some stitching in the future on this one than the other ones. And it's just on a 14 count white Aida. Okay. That was started in early January of 2021 and has about 32 hours into it. It's about halfway, so still has a lot of work to go. Number 4, I was thinking of ditching this one, but then I did do a little work on it this fall, and I've reconsidered ditching it, but I still think it's going to take forever. This is called Leaf Skeleton. It's from an Etsy store called Ritakuna, and I'm doing it 1/1 on a 28 count mushroom lugana. And it's my only like high count 1/1 piece I'm working on. Because I started this one, then I'm like, I'm not sure that I like that. I was about to ditch it after these first 2 leaves that I did in 2021, fall of 2021. But then I did finally figure out how to get a modified version of it into Pattern Keeper, because I was also having a lot of trouble. I couldn't print the pattern, I couldn't put it in Pattern Keeper and have it be nice, and I was having to do it off my laptop and like mark in a PDF. I don't know, I wasn't liking it, but I have figured out how to put it in Pattern Keeper in a way which is a little helpful, and I was working on this leaf here this fall. I think I'm going to probably be putting this away until next fall, and I did want to get this whole leaf done, but I didn't before putting it away again. But yeah, I'm going to keep plugging on this, I think, for a bit and see. Let me show you. It's going to be quite large. I mean, it's not going to be large because of I'm doing it 1/1, but it's a lot of leaf skeletons. And as you can see, I'm just up here. I did this one, and part of this one. So there's a lot more to go. But I only have, let's see, 20 hours into this. And that's where I'm at. So this one was started in September of 2021. and I'm going to put it away again now and try pulling it out again next fall and see how I feel about it then. I know I don't feel like stitching on it right now, but it just doesn't seem like the right time to be stitching fall leaves. So, okay, next is one of my big pieces, which I just ordered with the Christmas money from my dad. I just ordered a Lowry stand, so it hasn't even shipped yet, but I'm kind of excited about that to see if it makes me more excited about working on some of my bigger projects that right now are just kind of awkward to work on, so I haven't been touching them very much lately. Like this one I don't think I have touched in the last 2 months since I last did a video. I'm sorry about that. Let me mute my phone because it's going to beep at me. This is Watercolor Bear by Alyssa Akneas, and it's pretty large. It's like 16 pages of pattern, and you'll see I've done the top pages across here, and now I'm working my way down the trunk. Once I get down here, I'm going to start working here and then fill back in. That's the plan. So this is where I am. There's a tiny bit of it that's cut off here, but basically I've got all the top pages done across there, and I'm now working my way down until I get to the bottom. It's a mixture of full and half cross stitches to for this kind of shading stuff, and I like it. I think that getting this stand is going to make me like it more, because it's a little awkward to hold, and especially it's even more awkward to hold, I think, now that I changed its configuration. It was going across, and now since I wanted to work down the trunk, I put it like upright in the stand, and it feels fairly awkward. But yes, I should have checked to see, let me do that right now, at what percentage I'm at in Pattern Keeper for this one. Let's see here. Too many things in Pattern Keeper. 28%. So that's a good place to be. 28% on that one. And those are all my colors. I do not have a bag big enough for this guy, so he is in a pillowcase. Which is what I do with my big projects. They go in pillowcases. I don't know. What do you do for your really large things if you don't take them off of their frames very often? Two that are in pillowcases, this one and another one that is on a scroll frame. So I've got 51 hours in on that one already, and it's on a 28 count Monaco. I really like the Monaco. It's got a stiffness to it that I like. I kind of like stiff fabrics like Aida. Not super stiff Aida, but just like moderately. But anyhow, Monaco doesn't really have many colors though, but I do try to use it when it works out for me. Next, I put this one away because it feels like a wintry piece to me, so I put it away last spring, and I need to get it back out. So that's going to be one of the things I'm going to do for January, is work on this. This is Northern Land from Owl Forest Embroidery. Here's the picture. I'm using the Owl Forest threads. I bought this, I started this in October of 2021. So when you could still get the threads, because this is a Russian company. So as far as I know, you can get their patterns, their PDF patterns, but you cannot get, their other stuff right now. And their threads though are beautiful. Let me show you. Here's it's only 3 colors. It's like a pink, a red, or a dark pink, and a blue. They're really nice. And I'm doing this on a 32 count Lugana Earthen. What's the brand of this? I forget. Probably have the sticker stuck somewhere. Somewhere, who knows where. On here. Yes. Oh, picture this plus. I thought so, but my other picture this plus ones were a lot softer. I like this better though. Oh, I guess I didn't need to unfold it. That's the whole big piece, but let me fold it back up because we don't need to see that. I have about a quarter of it done, and that's when I put it away. There we go. So, yeah, let's see. Yes, this is the edge. This right here is the middle. I went a little past the middle to make these symmetrical things. And this around here is the halfway point going down. So I am about a quarter of the way through. I've done this whole section here. I need to do this section, and then everything over here is a mirror image. So probably I'm gonna need to take another break after this. So I'd like to work on this bottom quarter, and then I'll probably take a break again from it. But yeah, I'm gonna pull this one back out. I'll probably trade it for my other outforest that I have out right now that is more spring-like, which is the one I originally kind of traded it out for, which you'll see in a few minutes. So yes, this one has 38 hours into it. Next is another big one. Let me find the picture first. This is Twisted Rainbow Sampler from Northern Expressions Needleworks. So many pages to the pattern. If I could find the picture, that'd be great. It's a twisted band sampler. Every other band is cross stitch and specialty stitch. I have not been working on this at all. This is another one that I'm hopeful that the stand will hopefully make me want to work on this more. This was a start that I had around New Year last year because I got the pattern and the silks for Christmas. And this is the first and only time I've used silks. This is still my only project using silks. They're dinky dyes, and then it's on a 32. Yes, 32 count Belfast linen in black. I need something behind this, don't I? Actually, I need to loosen this up. So let me show you this first, and then I'll show you the top part. You can see I'm in the middle of a specialty stitch row, ready to start a new color because the colors change halfway between the rows. And then let me unroll this so you can see the top. So I don't think I'm to the halfway point yet, but obviously I've made it to the corner. So I'm in the section where the bands are, of course, the biggest. And they'll stay like that for a while and then start to shrink up a bit again when I get closer to the bottom down here. I definitely want to start working on this one again. I plan to do that when I get my stand. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that that will help me enjoy this more. And maybe even make it go faster because I can stitch two-handed on it. Once you get going, it's really nice because you don't usually need a pattern for this one because it's following a set pattern. And you just need to like reference the pattern here and there, and then you can kind of just go, which is nice. And I think I've just been out of it for a while and I just need to get back into it. So I'd really like to finish this one this year. That was my plan. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. And next, this is actually one that I plan to work on a lot this month and hopefully finish it. This is from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Earth. It is the 4 Seasons piece that I started on the first day of spring last year, and I've been doing each season section in its season. So when I last did a video, I was not done with fall, but I am done with fall now, and I'm got a good start on winter, almost halfway through winter. Zelia, you want to come up here? You want to see my little stitchy buddy? Come here. Psst, 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 psst. I don't know if she'll come up here. So, like I said, I finished all of fall, and the fox kind of goes over into winter. His tail will just be outlined in white when I finish winter. And I've got a nice start on winter, almost halfway through winter. So that's the whole thing. And it's on a 32 count Lugana. And yeah, this is, I think, going to be kind of a bit of a focus piece for January, and I want to get it done. I have another set of season patterns, like the Satsuma Street ones that I have kitted up, that I am debating on whether I want to start, like in spring, start those one for each season for this upcoming year. I might be doing that, but I haven't decided for sure yet. So, possibly. Okay, that was number 8. That already has like 100 hours in it, and I'm not done yet. So that is a big one. Oh, and I didn't say, but the Twisted Rainbow Sampler has 70 hours into it already. Those are large projects that I want to finish, both of them this year, so we will see. This next one is another Owl Forest embroidery. Actually, I don't have the picture for you because I forgot to bring it over here, and because this was a kit, so it's just a picture on the front of the box, and all I have over here is the pattern, which one part of it is stuck to it. I do really like that the paper patterns come where you can like cut them up into like little motifs and just stick them on with your needle minders. This is called Princess's Frogs by Owl Forest Embroidery. I did buy the kit, so I am using the Owl Forest threads, but I did substitute for a Fortnite Fabrics fabric called Staying Alive from their Groovy Gradients club this past year, and it's kind of a greenish, it's kind of like a green with like a blue tint. So here's where I am on that. This is the bottom, this is the side, this side. All I'm missing is this side coming up, and then there's one row across the top here. And I think since we've last talked, I think I might have done this little guy, this little motif of this frog here. I've done one motif since then, and I think it was him. So it only has 1, 2, 3, like 6 motifs left. But I think I am going to put this away till spring and work on that what was the other one called? The other Owl Forest one, the Northern Land. Sorry, I'm going to work on that for now instead, and then when I'm feeling springy, because spring is here, I will probably switch them back out for each other. So there's it. And that has over 50 hours into it. Okay. Next, we have one second, just thinking to myself for a second. Okay. This is called, I call it monochromatic peacock. It doesn't really have a name. It's sampler cross stitch pattern number 246 by Elena Karatanova. And I got it off of a Etsy page. It's just a monochromatic peacock sampler. I'm changing it around a little bit. First off, I'm using a couple colors, just 3. And I'm not gonna do, this very outer border. I'm gonna do the peacock and then this just inner border and leave off the very outer part. So, here he is. This is on a 16 count Aida in Sea Lily, a Witchout Aida. And I am using this wonderful variegated thread that is, shoot, what's the name? Threadworks, sorry. Threadworks and, shoot, what is the name of the color? I can't remember. They don't put the name on the packaging, just the number, so I'll have to look it up. But it's this very pretty greens, blues, purples. So it just reminded me of the peacock. So I thought I need to find a peacock pattern, and that's what I did. So that's what I'm doing the feathers in. And then his body is blue, and then I have a purple that's going to do that. That's going to be the border. But I still have a lot to do of his feathers, because after I finish his feathers, there's actually another row of feathers kind of peeking out behind this one, and then a border. I did work a little bit on him since we last talked. I think I finished this part of this feather and started this one. It goes pretty quick when I pick him up, but I just haven't done that very much. But he is, I like working on him. I usually like a lot of colors, and so it's kind of weird to have a project that only has a couple colors. So he's good for when I go out of the house or something like that. Okay, oops, didn't put his picture back in with him. And that's only 17 hours of work, so yeah, he still has a way to go, but it seems like a lot is already done for 17 hours. This next one is just a little dimensions kit that I got off a free table at a Stitchy thing called Tree Frog Trio. And I don't work on it very much, but it was small, and I had it in a bag when I was somewhere, and I just needed something to stitch. So, just using everything from the kit, and that's where I'm at. I think that middle frog is actually done aside from back stitching. And then I guess he's probably like half done, and there's another frog over here. So it's not something I'm actively kind of working on, but it is something that's good to toss in a bag if I'm going to be out, because it's tiny, and I also, like, it's not something that I'm like super worried about it getting messed up when I'm out of the house or anything like that. Next is Sunflowers by Alyssa Agnias, which I really need to pick up again. The cross stitch is actually all done on this, and all I need to do is back stitch and French knots. But there's a lot of it, and I just haven't worked on it. And I was thinking that I was going to put that as one of my things, was to finish this for January, but again, I think I might have to wait till it's more like spring or summer to actually work on this, because it's not a winter piece to me. But yeah, the cross stitch is all done, and I just need to backstitch. And these pieces are really fun to actually, I mean, I don't like backstitching, but they look so great once the backstitch is done. It really makes the design pop out and come to life. So I need to work on that at some point. Because it's close to done, and the back stitch doesn't take as long as the cross stitch. don't like doing it as much, so it gets put off. Let me put this back here before I forget. Try not to like lose all the pieces of everything everywhere. Okay. Oh, I have another pile up here. Where's my next pile of things? We'll pull it down. Ooh, as it falls. Okay. Next. This is number, I haven't been saying the numbers. This is number 13 of 17. So we're getting there. This is a pattern from Happy Sloth on Etsy. Actually, they might have a website aside from Etsy as well, called Teach a Man to Fish. It says, teach a man to fish, and he'll turn around and try to teach you to fish like he invented it and you're an idiot. And I just love the juxtaposition of the kind of like retro picture with the modern snarky comment. Cracks me up, at least. But I haven't done any of the words yet. I've just been working on these people. And I have stitched a little bit on this. I keep this in my bag that I take around with me. So like when I'm a doula, and so like when I'm at births, sometimes there's downtime and I'm sitting and waiting, and I will stitch on this some. This is my piece that I take with me there, because at this point it's all fill-in. I'm just filling in this cream on him, and then I need to on her legs, and then this leg needs filled on with cranberry. And then once I finish all that fill-in, I'll do the words. But which probably, even though there's a lot of words, they probably won't take that much time, because they're only like they're small letters. So yep, I'm not really in a hurry with this one. I'm just doing it bit by bit, a strand at a time. This is also on a Fortnite fabric that I got from my fabric of the month called Dancing Queen, and it's a 32 count Lugana. Next, this is Awesome Pattern Studio called Olympic Park, which is a place that we went this last summer on vacation. So it had been my travel piece when I was up there, and it's a nice, like, has a lot of color blocks if you want to take it somewhere and not have to look at a pattern. If you do some outlining ahead of time, you can do a lot of fill-in. I'm also doing it not as a rectangle, but as a big oval. There's marks on the chart in Pattern Keeper to do that. As I drop all the pieces. Sorry. So this is, let me take off my grime guard so as not to distract. This is where I'm at. And actually this whole bottom is all done because some of it is white on white. And so it's kind of hard to tell, but this is all stitched down here and some of this white up here. I have some white to fill in here and some gray. But yeah, that's where I'm at. It's weird because it like doesn't look like anything, and then it does start to come together after a little bit, but there's just kind of weird blocks of random colors until a certain point. Okay, that one, I have 35 hours into that one, and it's on an 18 count Aida. This next one I have started since we last talked, so it is a new start. This is the Flower Friends Trio from Satsuma Street. I've already done the bird in the past, and this is the turtle that whose name is Myrtle that I have started. And I could probably knock him out pretty quick if I wanted to, but the turtle himself, he is all done, but there's a bunch of flowers on top that need finished. And he's waiting. I already have hoops done up for him and the elephant as well to join their friend. So this is on a 16 count Aida in Sun Shower is the color, which I really like, the pale yellow. And the floss is the call for Cosmo Floss. Satsuma Group was just selling a Cosmo Floss pack for the 3 pieces. I do really like the Cosmo Floss. It's the first time I've ever used that. And it's really soft and nice to work with. And I'm going to have a bunch of these colors at least left over even after I finish the elephant as well. So I don't know what I'll use them for, but I'll find something. So that is Myrtle. Sorry for the crinkly. Okay. This next one is also a new start since I saw you last. And to me, I found it a very surprising new start. So let me tell you the story a little bit. I was at a stitch day with a local stitch group, and they have these raffle drawings, and I won a piece of cloth, 25 count Lugana by Lori Holt, called Cloud, but it said Zweigart. And I was like, what am I going to do with this 25 count? And then I'm like, you know what they use 25 count for? Hades. But I was like, well, I've never really seen a Hade that really I liked. The artwork is typically just not my style. But I was like, oh, I'm going to go look. And I found this one. And I was like, you know what? I love that. It's and I got the mini. It's called Mini Starfish on the Sand Beach. And in one day, I basically looked at this, found this, bought this, went to Joann's, and they had a sale on DMC. It was only 45 cents a skein, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm kitting up this whole Hade. And then I started, like, all in one day. Like, I was like, it just felt so impulsive. So that was a little while ago. That was in October 27th, I started this. And that's where I'm at. So, yeah, that's the water. I'm doing it. I've never stitched full coverage. I figured out how to do the diagonals and the parking on the pattern keeper. And I was like, sure, I guess we're going to do something new. And I really like how it's looking. And it's actually really fun to stitch on. It feels super tight. Like the Hay chart says use 25 count and use 2 strands over 1. And I was like, okay, so that's what I've been doing. But it gets real tight when you start to get towards the end of a section. And let me look. I think I'm definitely past 1%. Let's see what percentage I'm at. 2.17%. So here we go. And only like 12 hours in. So however many hours that means I need to still do. Lots. But it is a mini. Like it will actually, I think, fit the whole thing on, on this Q-snap. We'll see. Maybe. No, I'm not. Now I'm wondering if I thought that right. But it might actually fit on this Q-snap because it's still going to take me forever. So I was like, well, I'm definitely starting with a mini. So that's my new Hade. Surprise. I'm surprised. Are you? Because I am. Okay, and lastly, we have a WIP that is a present I am making for my daughter's best friend for their birthday that is coming up in January. Look at those beautiful colors. And it is on 16 count Black Ada, and I don't have a picture of the finished product. But it says I can't think straight in rainbow colors. And it shouldn't take me too long. The chart also has like kind of like a bubble of white around all the letters, but I don't think I'm even going to do that. I think I'm just going to do the letters themselves, so that part won't take me very long at all. My plan is to, that's a little better. My plan is to get a black tote bag and finish this somehow onto a tote bag. We'll figure that out because I've never done that. And this is not a WIP. This is already finished, but this is the one I made for my daughter. Their birthdays are only a week apart. So my plan is to make black tote bags with these stitches on it for both of them. They're both turning 13 this year. So this is one I made for my daughter. So sneak peek at one of my finishes, right? Get in, loser. We're going to die of dysentery. My daughter has seen this one and thinks it's hilarious and loves it. She finds the Oregon Trail stuff really funny, even though, I mean, she has played the old school game because I found it for her, but she's a little young for that, right? But the other one is a surprise for her friend. So yeah, I will update you on how that goes as far as making them into tote bags, because that will be a new thing that I haven't done before. So we've made it through all 17 WIPs. And my plans for January is to work on my Four Seasons piece to finish it. And come here, Zelia. Come here. Hold on one second. Oh, she's gonna run away from me. I think I showed you the new kitten once. She's still a tiny little goober, but she is bigger than she was. She's still very tiny for a 5-month-old kitten. Let me see if she'll let me grab her. One second. Where's that? You. Okay. Oh my goodness. Look at this little kitten. She thinks chasing floss when you're stitching is fun. Isn't she adorable? What? Are you going to run away? Say hello. Say hello. She has a cold. She likes to sneeze snot all over us. Go ahead. She's just going to sit there and stare at me. Sorry. I was distracted. What were you talking about? There was a kitten. Oh, yes. I do plan to do another video, hopefully next week, a finish parade of 2022, which is why I said this was a sneak peek, because I have finished some things, some small things since probably like 4 or 5 of them since my last video, but I'll do a finish parade and show you everything that I've finished the whole year of 2022. There's a couple things in a pile that I was hoping to fully finish later this week, but I think I'm going to do a video next week regardless of whether I fully finish them or not. So they may or may not be fully finished, but I'm going to try to not let that keep me, sorry, now I'm being attacked by a kitten, from doing the video. So I have a lot of Flosstube to catch up on. There's like a million WIP parades. I haven't, in addition to not having made any videos and not done a ton of stitching, I also haven't been watching videos. Yeah, I feel super behind, but trying to not stress about that. These are things that you will never catch up on. You will never catch up on watching all the Flosstubes. You will never catch up on doing all the stitching. And to try to do that is a futile effort that will always leave you feeling like a failure, right? So that was part of the reason I needed to step back for a little bit, is just to be like, don't feel pressured by the things that other people are doing. Just work on what makes you happy and do what makes you happy, right? That's the point, right? I've noticed there are some other Flosstubers that I do watch that I've been trying to catch up with that seem to be in that same boat of like, you know, sometimes needing to take a step away and just refocus on just stitching. So anyhow, I'm going to get this uploaded, and hopefully I will see you guys again soon. Bye!